Hi Aquarius, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and descendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Aquarius, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they speak to you. If you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. And if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for the key to the week this week, we have the World card. In a lot of ways, this is about us. The World card, it's got they all have so many meanings, but this is about ascension in some way, shape or form. This is a big step upwards or forwards. This is something that you've mastered, Aquarius, that you are ready to do. Now, if for a lot of you, this, and I have to say this as well, the message is very, very clear, right? Whatever you're going to do, you cannot slack. You are going to have to really ramp it up, whatever it is, whether this is a project, whether it's something that you want to work on, whether it's something that you want to release into the world. Basically, it says that all the results that you want are absolutely promised, but you cannot slack. You're going to have to work harder now than you've ever worked before, right? Like this week is going to start a process of a massive step forward for you, a big expansion or a big ascension in some way, shape or form. But it does require you to really dig deep and get shit done. When it comes to the other thing with the World card as well, this week, who are your people? What does your tribe look like? What does your network look like? And more importantly, how can you rope them in? Who is your community? When you think about community, and everyone uses this word for Aquarius, but who is that? Who is your community? Who are your people? You know, this is the week for you to really find out. For your actions and options, you have the Judgment card. Now, this is really funny, right? Because the Judgment card literally is the card that comes right before the World card. So there is a big change in status coming this week. How do we know this? Because the Judgment card falls in the actions and options, which suggests that big sweeping changes and transformations are coming for you, Aquarius. This week, I have to say, after this week, things are likely to be very, very different for you going forward. Let's see if we can see what else comes up. Now, the other thing with the Judgment card as well, in a lot of ways, this is going to see you really rewriting something. Whatever you start this week is going to have very far-reaching ripples, and I don't like the word consequences, because it's like when you say that, everyone's like, yeah, you know, like it conjures up images of everything going wrong. But whatever stone you drop into the beautiful pool this week, the ripples are going to be far and wide reaching. And what I kind of feel from this as well is whatever you initiate this week is going to be something that is around for a long time to come. Get going. For your communications and conversations, you have the Queen of Swords. So this week, it does look like you may have some challenging conversations on your hands. You might have to... One way that this could come up is you're putting somebody in their place. You know, maybe somebody oversteps the mark or oversteps their bounds. This week, it does look like you might have to... and I don't want to say fight, but this week you might have to have a tough conversation where you do put someone in their place. Now, remember, the Queen of Swords is about what you're willing to go to war for. And in your communications, this basically says that this week, you're not having any of it. It's like, this is going to be the week, and Aquarians are pretty good at this anyway, even if I do say so myself. All jokes aside though, Aquarians are very good at being diplomatic when they need to check someone, but this week it's kind of like the diplomacy band-aid is ripped off. It's like this week, if you have to check a bitch, you will check a bitch, end of story. It's kind of like this, like there's clean cuts. Why do I say that? Well, you've got the Queen of Swords in the communications, but you've got the Judgment card in the actions and options, which means this week you are not here for any BS. Like, if you see crap, you're gonna call crap. If you smell BS, you're gonna call BS. Like Aquarius is very like that anyway, because it's very orientated towards the truth and objective truth at that. However, this week it's like you're really taking no crap and no prisoners. I think the saying goes, take no prisoners and post no bills. So I feel sorry for anybody that crosses the Aquarian people this week, because they're going to get way more than they bargained for. When it comes to those of you that work for somebody else, well, look, there is a chance of forward momentum this week, but the thing that comes with it, and this is something that Aquarius people tend not to be so good with, it tends to bring us an element of, well, if I have to step on somebody else to get it, then, I'm not gonna sully my integrity just to have something. Whereas this week, it's not so much that you're overriding your morals, it's more a case of you're going to make the moves that you need to make to get to where you want to be. And if somebody crosses you or tries to hold you back, it's like you're just going to say, no, I'm cutting that loose. It does suggest to me as well that this could be a week where maybe you put your boss on notice and say to them, look, you either need to support me more or utilize me more, or I'm out. For those of you that work for yourselves, business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, this could be an interesting week, because it looks like a lot of the conversations that you're having are going to be about things that you're not doing, things that you're ready to let go of. And in a lot of ways, this could see you having a very firm talk with yourself, where you're saying, right, okay, this is the plan of action. It's like you're redoubling your efforts this week. And I think a lot of what you do this week is going to have some really amazing results, but it is going to be, I have to say, it does look like a little bit of a lonely path going forward, Aquarius, and it's one that's going to be so busy that maybe you won't even notice that it's lonely. With that said, for those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, this week, your community, your people, your family, this could be where the drama comes in. And I know for Aquarius people in general that may be a theme, so just be aware of that. For your money and materials, you've got the Six of Wands. All right, so whatever decision you have made, and there is a very big finite decision that you're coming, it's like a big conclusion that you're coming to this week. Whatever decision you make, it's financially very good for you. Like whatever you set into motion this week, the results on the material plane are going to be, they'll be there for everyone to see, basically, which I really, really like, obviously, because I'm an Aquarius as well. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this would be your back, your spine, and your heart, all of that kind of general area. Just look out for it. If you're considering going to a chiropractor, an osteopath, or oh, come on, brain, what's the other one? Chiropractor, osteopath, excuse me, acupuncturist, this would be a good week to seek one out. Maybe, given the way that things are with lockdowns and stuff, maybe it's not necessarily the time to go, but it could see you really starting to build a healthcare plan for yourself. Like, right, these are the things that I'm going to do to look after my body. And then finally, for your home and environment, well, look, Leos, Pisces, who else? Cancer, I think it was, and Aquarius. I think these were the 4 signs that I said this year have the most moving energy. It's like in some way, shape or form, you're on your travels. For some of you, this week could yield some really good results when it comes to looking for the place to live. For some of you, this could yield a really good result on whether you decide, okay, I'm going to rent or I'm going to buy. Like there's something that becomes very concrete this week. And remember, the Six of Wands is a success. It's a victory point. It's a moment where you get to say, yes, you know what, this is me. The fact that it comes underneath the Judgment card as well, there's a lot of final calls that are being made this week, so it's going to be an interesting one for sure. And then for your love and relations, look, you got the Three of Swords. For those of you that are single, maybe somebody that you thought was a potential love prospect ends up kind of not being the one. This suggests to me as well that one of you is probably moving, so it's not going to be really viable anyway. For a select few of you, because remember, the Three of Swords is where something is removed. Now, not for every Aquarius, but for those of you who know, you know what, this relationship it's not what I thought it was, it's not going to work, I've tried to do everything I have to mend it. This will be the final decider. You've got the World card, endings, completions, stepping to a new plateau or a new level, a change in status of some sort. You've got the Judgment card, the final call, the final choice, the big moment of change or transformation. And you've got the Three of Swords. For a select few Aquarius people that are in partnerships, marriages or relationships, this week it will come to an end. I'm sorry to say that. Outside of that, this is basically suggesting if your marriage is strong or your relationship or your partnership is strong, there is something that needs to be removed. And I think this week you could be very vocal about what that is. Maybe you say to your partner, right, no more drinking. I don't want you to smoke anymore. You know what, I don't like that member of your family. I don't ever want to see them again. Like something this week, it's like you're setting a very clear boundary for yourself and for your partner and saying, this is what I need to stay in this relationship, and this is what I feel like our relationship needs to continue, being connected, basically. It's going to be an interesting week for Aquarius for sure. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Take care. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up, and I'll see you soon.